Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So today we have snares. Dude, why we're doing snares again? You did a video back in spring. Well, quite honestly, it's information you need to know. Alright, snares, being able to trap animals when your food stocks are gone. Let's face it guys, most of us are prepping on a budget. Our food is only going to last us so long, and in an event such as an EMP or CME, electromagnetic pulse or coronal mass ejection, you're going to need food. Alright, so we have food. What if something happens? What if your stocks are taken? What if you didn't store it correctly and a lot of your food has spoiled? You got to learn how to trap. The reason why I like snares is because you're not actively out here. You just have to come back and check your snares once a day. Alright, twice a day if you want to. I don't recommend coming right up and start touching your snares after you set them, but you need to set these things in place. You just come back every now and then, check them. You don't have to sit out here all day long with a rifle, hopefully that you might see something that you can shoot. These work great. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. I've got a squirrel in the background barking at me now. Yeah, he sees me. There he is. I think he's reacting to my voice. Now, squirrels are not the smartest animals. Squirrels are the easiest animals to snare. Alright, if you ever sit back and watch a squirrel, they'll run the same tree. They'll run the same deadfalls. You see how this tree branch has fell down? Well, actually, it's actually a tree trunk. It broke off over there and fell in the crook here. And I put a squirrel pole up here. They run this all the time. That's where we're going to set our snares. The reason why is because they love routine. They will run the same way. I've caught 6 squirrels off of a squirrel pole before. One gets hung up and drops, strangles himself to death, and the other one just keeps running by. They just have a real short attention span. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll show you how to set this up. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do, if I'm not making too much racket stepping around on these leaves, I'm going to undo our twine here. Alright, so I want to fix this thing on this tree where it's not sliding around everywhere. I'm just taking the tie wire guys, and I am tying it down, just twisting it because tie wire will hold. Alright, that's actually what we don't need. We're going to take our nifty Leatherman that Jeff sent us. Turn that off. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and wrap again just to help secure this right here. I'm going to take the Leatherman, pinch down that spot. There we go. Now, let's pull out some length here. Alright, so we're going to pull out some length here, guys. Now what I want to do is I want to mimic my snare now. And that's what my length is going to be. I'm going to cut just a little bit long here. Now for our end, our loop here, we're just going to bend this over, guys. Alright, so hopefully my fingers are not in the way. We're going to bend this over top. We're going to make an eyelet for this, alright? Now, once we've got that first part, see how we just looped it over? I'm going to get the pliers back out, and we're going to try to round it a little bit. It makes it slide much easier. You don't want to kink it up because you don't want that friction on your line here. Now the reason why we do snares, guys, is because if that food ever stops coming in, your big games, things like that, usually you always have smaller game running around. There we go. See our eyelet here? Works very well. Now, I'm going to cross this over just like that. I'm going to start twisting in place. When you get smaller ends here, it's easier just to take your Leatherman, pair of pliers, needle nose, whatever you got available, and bend it around. Now, I have seen where others have left a piece of metal sticking out, and they claim that it will help hold the fur of the animal coming in. It'll snag them. My experience, guys, and I've been outdoors all my life, that really doesn't work very well. An animal is not matted when he's clean. Most animals in the wild, they're pretty clean, guys. They're not sitting there all tangled up and matted up stuff. All right, now if you're dealing with real furry animals, as far as bear and things like that with thick fur, yes, they get matted, things like that. But most of your smaller animals, like a squirrel, you don't see a squirrel or a rabbit all matted down. Usually their fur is real fine. So those little tricks where they show sticking out a little barb out your wire, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt anything if you do have it in place. All right, so what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to get our snare wire in position, twist it around, just like this. All right, now, as you can see, this hole is pretty large, okay? For a squirrel, this is a pretty large hole. Let me get the camera in just a little bit closer for you guys. See how large this loop is? It's too big, okay? This here is just our supporting loop, all right? Just keep our loop in position so when he's running this way, squirrel will shoot right through this without even touching it. So we're gonna shrink this down. All right, to shrink it down, just manipulate the tension of your loop, just like that. All right. And we just position it by bending this wire here to where we want our loop to be. Bingo. There we go, guys. So this extra loop here, it doesn't matter. You can swing it down low if you want to. It really doesn't matter. So when the squirrel comes through, he's either running this way or he's running this way. Okay. What you can do, if you can spare peanut butter, squirrels love peanut butter, guys. Most animals will go to peanut butter. You just smear it on the bark, okay? You just smear it just like that. You just smear it on the bark. You don't leave chunks. You just smear the peanut butter into the wood. So when he comes through, his position's right there. He is chewing at that bark. He's moving around. And while he's moving around, he gets up in there. And the reason why I slid my hand this way just for the camera. Let me slide that back and I'll show you the actual motion, what happens here, guys. Let's go ahead and pull this back down. I'm going to get on the other side here. All right, so when that squirrel comes through, guys, and this thing goes to pull on him, he will fall and he will dangle. All right, now he's got all this tension length from him in this snare. He cannot grab hold of this tree above him because he's got that much tension. He's got that much length where he's dangling. And basically, guys, he chokes himself out. So as you see, the amount of length here, there's no way he can actually grab hold of anything. I mean, he's just dangling midair. That's it. That's what strangles him. It's not the pleasant way to die, but it does work. I mean, you're hungry. So as you can see, guys, this is a very simple trap. This is a squirrel pole. All right. Now, we only had just one up. What I would recommend you doing if you decide to do a squirrel pole, have multiples. Even have some where the snare is hanging down underneath. Because if you ever watch a squirrel, he doesn't just run on top of things. He runs, it wraps around and things like that. That works well too. One thing, it might even help with the disorientation of the squirrel running up this pole, putting a snare down on the bottom side. And you can do the same thing up top. All of these places up top, you can still put your snares in. I wouldn't put a snare up in a tree if I have to climb it. All right, during SHTF, you do not want to fall out of a tree, get busted up. All right, so these lower ones, that would be a good idea. You know, these low, where these trees have fallen down, because I've seen the squirrels run on top of here. If I had a step ladder or something, or make a ladder, yeah, it'd be a good spot to put something. But don't start climbing a tree to go set a snare. If you fall, it could be bad news. All right, let's go move on to the next one. All right, guys, so we're walking through here. I am looking for a trail. I did not go out here earlier and plan things out. Luckily, though, these fields, we got plenty of trails for smaller animals. So I'm going to dip in here, get rid of those spider webs, keep your eyes on the ground. You got to make sure there's no snakes. And down here in Florida, keep your eyes up in the trees, because there'll be snakes up in there too. All right. Perfect, let's head this way. All right, to see a trail. All right, guys, so my shadow's in the way here, but I want to direct your attention right through here. See this stick that goes above? This is a trail right here, guys. Let me get you down low so you can actually see it. See how clear that trail is? We're going to put our snare up top. That's where our snare is going to be, right here in this path. So let's go ahead and get the camera set up. I can show you how to set this up. Alright, guys, so I don't want to disturb much of the ground here. Down right here. Alright, so our optimal range here is going to be low. All this stuff up here has not really been disturbed. Same with the barks here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run my snare off of this tree, this little sapling here that broke, run it down, and put my snare down there. So we will form our snare just like this here. We'll get it in position. Get everything tied down good. Stepping off the side of a trail is probably the best idea. You really don't want to be standing in your trails. It just makes it so that it takes longer to catch something. They'll get a scent of you. Perfect. Alright, guys, so I'm taking it to the back side here. Here is our snare. Let me wiggle it around for you so it picks up. Alright. We've got our snare wire in the trail right here. So that's that, guys. That is the basic snares to put up. Now, these work great for squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, believe it or not, possums. I know, ooh man, I don't want to eat a possum. You boil that possum meat enough, grill them out, it's not bad. All right, just trust me on that. If you get hungry enough, you'll eat a lot of things. All right, guys, so to learn about our figure 4 deadfall traps and our spring traps that we have done in the past, I've put those links up for you. You also should have seen them pop up in the cards. We've got a lot of mosquitoes out here, guys, so I do apologize for that. These things are brutal. We're also going to put those videos in the comment section and description, guys, so you can find those. And hopefully you found this somewhat informative. Please, if you plan on using traps, which I really recommend you do, practice them. All right, practice them. Practice manufacturing them, setting them, everything. Don't wait till the last minute to try to set a snare. All right, take time, learn how to do it correctly. What I showed you on the manufacture of these, how to create them, simplest way to do it, and it works. Use that. Work on it. If you find a little bit better way, hey, use that better way. That is the basic. It is tried and true. All right. Do yourself a favor. Learn these skills before you need them. When you need them and you don't know them, well, you're screwed. All right. Anyway, guys, definitely appreciate y'all stopping in and hanging out with us. And until the next video, catch you guys later.